Hello, everyone, and welcome to my heart-to-heart interview series. I'm Melanie. I guide souls and heal hearts, and I'm really excited to be having a heart-to-heart today with Terry McCoy. Terry is an NLP master. Hi, Terry. Terry's an NLP master, coach, and trainer of hypnosis and EFT. You're also a Reiki master. Terry is the founder member of the International Trainers Academy of NLP and a member of the British Institute of Hypnotherapy and NLP. Thank you, Terry, for taking your time to do this with me.
Pleasure. Can I just make a few amendments there?
Yes,
Otherwise,
sure.
the gods of NLP will strike me dead.
Okay. Yes.
I was one of the founder members of the International Training Association.
Okay. I think you told me this before, and I've forgotten again. Sorry.
And I'm no longer a member of the British Institute of Hypnotherapy.
Oh no. Okay. I should just do that again.
Only because I see very little value in organisations, self-appointed organisations. Not that the NLP Academy is one. It's one of the few that are all right. One of the few that you get a bit off. You get a bit back, should we say? But most of them, they're just self-appointed marketing companies.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. Terry's also been one of my coaches for the last year. He's coached me from everything from, relationship, family, and more so in the last few months, business coaching.
And a pleasure it's been to, Melanie.
So for those people that don't know you who are watching, can you just share a little bit about what inspired you to become an NLP coach?
Okay. And you want the shortened version?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Because last time I went on, just for those who don't know, it was 6:30 in the evening when we finished. I was getting on to year one. 2003, I became a professional NLP coach. What inspired me was, without going too far into it, I've always been interested in the mind, right? How it works, why I do what I do, how people tick, how I tick.
Okay.
What makes me do take the decisions I take, right? And I was working for a company, a financial services company, read a book called Unlimited Power, right? I'm sure you all know that, Anthony Robbins, right?
Okay.
I thought, this stuff works. This was in 1987, right? This stuff works. I just kept on reading. Done lots of different jobs as a self-employed consultant, marketing consultant in between, run companies, publishing companies, all the while learning NLP and applying it. And it was in 2003 I did my first, 1999 I did my first NLP practitioner course.
Okay.
I was with someone I was seeing at the time. It was 2002, something like that, 2001. She's seen all these books that I had in my flat, and I said, I'm thinking of becoming a coach, professional coach. And she said, she NLP'd me. She said, well, why don't you? I went, don't know. Okay. So my first, I said to 3 of my marketing clients, I'm taking up coaching full-time profession now. And the 3 of them went, we'll have a go. And that was it, went on since.
Wow.
Got lots and lots of government funding to go to America to train and everything like that. So yeah.
Wow.
And this is what it's brought me here.
Nice. And I'm aware that you...
Was that short enough?
Yes, that was a good one. The people watching are like, what on earth are they on about?
Yeah.
But anyway, so...
For those of you watching, I did go on a bit last time.
And then we had a disaster with a VPN, and then it wouldn't work. And so now we're doing this for the 3rd time lucky. So I'm aware that you work a lot with people who suffer from anxiety.
Yeah, that's been the last 7 years, 8 years. That's been my main focus.
Yeah, and how did
generally through? Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, how did that come about? Was it just the general type of clients that you kept getting?
Do you want the potted version?
Whatever you feel like now.
I'll give you the potted version. I was running an NLP master practitioner course in an office in Liverpool. right? And in the sort of main area, there was a clinical psychologist. He was seeing all these people, time after time. Every half hour they would change, right? And some of them were in tears, and some of them were, some of them were really upset. Anyway, we got talking because I thought, well, he shouldn't really be seeing these people in an open space, Anyway, we got talking. He said, "What do you like with anxiety?" And I said, "Oh, great at it. I suffer from it every day." He said, "Could you help people with anxiety?" "Yeah, no problem. Yeah." So it turned out he saw a lot of people who had been in accidents,
Okay.
and ended up suffering from traumatic stress, post-traumatic stress as a result of, it could be road traffic accidents, or it could be travel-related anxiety. It could be they've been in explosions, anything, you name it.
Wow.
I mean, for instance, one guy, those big cranes with the big hooks, metal hooks.
Yeah.
One guy was hit on the shoulder with one of them. He had it harder, just missed his head, glanced his shoulder. So that was it. He wouldn't, he was a bag of nerves. So that's the type of thing. Yeah. So it was situational anxiety, which would then usually what tends to happen, it generalizes out into general anxiety.
Okay.
Because to give you an example, someone's in a car crash, you don't want to get in a car again. But then sometimes it can generalize out because that's what the brain does. It's very, very good at doing these things. Goes on. And then you have anxiety about having anxiety. And the anxiety spreads out from not just getting into a car, but just going out, just even thinking about going in the car.
Wow.
So again, for the last 7 years, that's it was 5 or 6 a day. It was very, very busy. And then for the past maybe around about 2 years, it went from post-traumatic stress disorder to complex post-traumatic stress disorder,
yes.
which, as you know,
yes.
is traumatic events over time. It could include childhood trauma, domestic violence, anything, a range of traumas through your lifetime. And it's given a name, complex post-traumatic stress. And that's what's been for the last 2 years.
Nice. And I was just going to ask you before we move on, because I know just at the top of my head, I know a few people that suffer from anxiety. Do you have any quick tips or anything that you want to share about how to sort of calm yourself down when you're in the middle of this anxiety, or almost like panic attacks? I guess it can go into a panic attack, can't it?
Yeah, what tends to happen is you have anxiety because you're having an anxiety attack. It's an anxiety attack, and it's what will people think? What have I faint? What have I died? No one's ever died of it. No one's ever died of an anxiety attack. Right? Nobody's been killed. Nobody killed anyone. Right? But as simple as it sounds, and all it takes is practice. Is as soon as you get the slightest inkling of an anxiety attack, I'll use the word grounding, but I know a lot of people think grounding. Exactly. It can be as simple, and this is a very, very common one that's offered to sufferers of post-traumatic stress disorder, right? When they have a flashback, let's put it this way: anxiety flashbacks, they're all the same as much.
Correct.
They're all in there. You're not present.
Yeah.
You're either imagining something in the future that you don't want. I'm going to get run over, or I'm going to have a crash, or whatever it may be. That's anxiety. Or the flashback is, bloody hell, when I was in that car crash last week, and as far as the brain's concerned, it happens in the now. Right?
Yeah.
If you think of something you're not looking forward to, that's going to make you nervous in the future, you have the anxiety now, don't you, in the moment?
Yeah, correct.
Right? That's the way the brain works, you see, right? So as easy as it sounds, it does really work. Get out your head and come. I'm afraid, come out your head and come to your senses. Okay. And the very, very easy one is just look around, notice what's in your visual awareness, and pick out 5 things. Doesn't have to be 5, but just like, for instance, I can see a lamp. I can notice the video camera. I can notice the window frame. The window frame. 5 things. Yeah,
nice.
Without judging it, not say, oh, it's a lovely lamp or it's a nice window frame. Right? It's just pure descriptive. Yeah, and they go from 5 you can see to 5 things you can hear. See,
Nice.
now it sounds easy, but you do it thinking now. You try and do it now. 5 things you can hear to your present experience.
And for me, what I'm getting is like coming back to reality.
That's absolutely no.
As you're saying that,
I'll answer the question that probably people would ask as a result is, well, what happens when you don't do that? Come back again. What you're doing, you're training your brain. You're retraining your brain. Just as anxiety becomes a habit, see the car, for instance, feel this. See the car, feel this. The brain goes, oh, well, I know this, because the brain's lazy, or let's put it this way, efficient. And let's say once you learn to look at your car, you look at the car that you had the accident in, and you go, oh, right. After a while, you stop questioning. You look at the car, feel this. Look at the car, feel this.
You associate the car with
neuroplasticity in action.
Yeah,
dead simple. It's a habit. So what you're retraining your brain to do is look at the car and go, I'm here right now. What can I see? What can I hear? What can I feel? Right. Now, if you want to take it so far, you can go from 5 see, hear, feel to 4 see, hear, feel to 3 see, feel, hear.
Okay.
That again, even in the army, as far as I'm aware, because I did see it on a website, so that technique or that process is taught to army personnel, for the armed forces.
Nice. I like that.
Just to ground them.
It's very simple and it's easy. Yeah, anyone can do it.
It actually stems from a self-hypnosis induction by a woman called Betty Erickson. And for those of anyone who's been interested in NLP will know the name Milton Erickson and his wife Betty. Betty doesn't like them. Betty's a little sis, she created that induction herself.
Oh wow! Okay.
And it's gone from there. I give it as a self-induction. I mean, I'll send it to you if you want. The self-hypnosis protocol.
Have I not? Sorry, what did you say?
I'll send it to you.
Oh yes, please. Yeah, that would be great. Although I don't work with hypnosis anymore, to be fair.
Self-hypnosis.
For myself, yeah. Or I can share it in the links. I can put a link to it for people who are interested. So you mentioned 2 things. One, habit, but before getting into habit, because we were discussing habits and how quickly we can actually change habits just before we started, recording. But can you talk a little bit about how the brain processes trauma? What happens in the moment of trauma? How is trauma created in the brain?
Okay, so let's wind back a bit. So what is trauma? It could be an emotional event, physical event that causes distress, right? My version of trauma could be different to yours.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? We could both be in a car accident, and I could walk out and go, oh, that is anyway, right? You could go, oh, that's it now, no more cars for me.
Yeah.
So it's processed differently by different people.
Okay.
Some people will just go, yeah, fine. Easiest thing to do, by the way, just as an aside, and my wife actually did this. She had a shunt car, car crash. We call them ASDA bumps sometimes.
Okay.
Where a car comes out of a side road and bump.
Okay.
Now,
not heard of that, but okay.
She was shaken up. She was really shaken up. But what she did was actually brilliant. I'm not taking credit for it because she doesn't. I never told this. She got out the car, and when her mum came over, she jumped in her mum's car and drove her mum's car, right? Rather than let it set in.
Yeah.
She just got back. The old saying, "Get back on the horse."
Yeah, that's funny. I just briefly, I was attacked when I was in Kuala Lumpur once by 2 men on motorbikes.
You tell me that, yeah.
They dragged me in, and I was, traveled there on my own. But as soon as I got better, as soon as I could walk again, I think it was about 3-4 months later, the first thing I did was I traveled alone I went to Switzerland or somewhere else at the time, just to not let it set in or be fearful of traveling again on my own,
And there's a lot of research, peer-reviewed you research that supports that. You know, the sooner you can get back into a car, the sooner you can even revisit the memory. It's funny. I was doing a neuroscience degree. I think it was like 2013. Started one, I mean, and they had all this latest research, and this bit of research that they were showing us was, if you, let's say you traumatic event, let's say something happens to you, have a car crash, or you get mugged or whatever it might be. If you revisit the memory in a particular way, sort of regain. Well, it's called rebrief it, actually, debrief it. Right?
Okay.
In a certain way, it's less likely to take a hold or turn into a trauma.
Yeah, and that's actually what most people don't do. Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah. It's you're processing the experience consciously. And I was just going to share this was my example. Like I used to, after this, even though I traveled and I got over the traveling thing, but every time a bike would come behind me out, because they came on motorbikes and they came onto the pavement. So anytime I would hear a bike behind me, my whole body would, I would shake, and I would have the same panic, anxiety attack, thinking that somebody's going to attack me. But going through that process, I don't get that anymore. But I do, for my own safety, I do sometimes still look, but my whole body doesn't go in shock like it used to. And I don't go into this.
I was just going to say, you want the safety part.
Yeah. So I still have a quick look. But I don't go into a panic anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the right way. Yeah.
So you're talking about the brain and talking about processing experiences.
Okay. So the traumatic event happens. Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it, whether a series of traumatic events, it's sort of, if you like, imprints on the brain. It's sort of how can I put this? If there's enough emotional impact or emotional punch to the event, then the brain goes, hang on, no, we got to watch this. This is dangerous, right? Now, I'll use the example of an accident again. Yeah, let's say someone's been run over by a red car.
Yeah,
bright red car. Right? The brain goes, oh, hang on, it could be or cars, right? Could be red cars. You feel it, but it could also, because the brain's very efficient and there's enough emotional impact in it. You could be sitting in an office and someone's got a red jumper on, and if it's a similar red to the car, you might stand like, I feel anxious, I don't feel uneasy, but I don't know why.
Interesting. So it's like subliminal messages from just even the color.
In a sense, your brain notices it, on an unconscious level, or what you're not consciously aware of. I don't like using the word unconscious. It's too much woo woo. I don't do woo woo.
Yeah, I know you don't.
If you think about it, the unconscious doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
No one's, unless you can tell me where it is. Is it there? Is it there in your knee? It's a way of speaking about a process.
Interesting.
What's happened over time is people have given it this mystic quality. And it's just what we're not aware of.
Funny that you're saying that. Sorry, we're not to go off track, but I was just thinking about this the other day, and to me, like, the unconscious is all the traumas and the things that we haven't processed, that we obviously shut down and shut awareness to that because it's not safe and for whatever reason. But if we didn't have any traumas and we were truly living in the moment, there would be no unconscious. We would be conscious and experiencing each situation. Or this was just a thought that came to me the other day. But anyway, if that makes sense.
Again, it makes sense what you're saying, but we have to have, and we cannot be conscious of everything. If you think of the senses process something of 11 million pieces of information every single second, right? Via the five senses, right? We can only consciously handle so many.
Yeah,
it used to be thought of between 5 and 7, but it's not. Sorry, 5 and 9. It's something around about 4 now, right? Because
it is. I was going to say 4.
And so it has to sort of say, well, I need to concentrate on what's important, right?
Right.
And the other stuff is, when I say goes into the unconscious, it might be stored, but it's not nowhere deep. It's not deep in the unconscious aware. It's not just what we're not aware of.
Yeah.
Because it's not important.
Yeah. True.
Like, for instance, when we first started speaking, right? We both, because we're both interested in books, we both noticed each other's bookcases, right? Now, if you had no interest in books or whatever it might be, you probably wouldn't notice it. It's there, you'll notice it.
True.
Or you'll be aware of it, but it won't stick out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Makes total sense.
I think it might be useful at this point to sort of give it in, to sum up what the brain actually does, what it's really good at.
Yes, please.
So that will make sense of what I've just said, or more sense of what I've just said. The brain's really good at doing three things. It leaves stuff out. Bear in mind, 11 million bits of information every single second.
Yeah.
So it leaves things out. It makes stuff up because it doesn't like uncertainty. Right? We don't like uncertainty. And it doesn't care what it makes up, as long as it makes it up. That's where anxiety comes in.
Yeah.
And it groups things together. It generalizes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. These three things are not problematic in and of themselves. They're only problematic when we start leaving stuff out, leaving things out that we need to pay attention to. So let's say, for instance, you say, you know what? I'm no good at relationships. I'm crap at relationships. Everyone always lets me down. Right? Now, your brain acts on that information. Your language is very powerful, right? And I'm no good at relationships. Life's shit. Well, right,
Yeah.
Now, in order for that to be true, there would have to be absolutely no counterexamples.
Okay.
But invariably, when I say to people, well, you say good at relationships, what do you actually mean?
Yeah, and you're so good at that. My next question for you is going to talk about a little bit about language, but carry on.
And they go, well, I'm no good at. Do you not like your mum and dad? Oh no, I'll get on with them, all right. What about your brothers? Yeah, fine. Yeah. People in work? Oh no, fine. You mean personal relationships? Oh yeah, I'm no good at them. Have you never had a decent? Oh yeah, well sometimes. The point I'm making is they make that massive generalization. I'm thinking of a particular person now from a few on three instances where a significant relationship with the other person didn't go the way he wanted it to.
It makes total sense. And I was just going to say, is it because of past trauma that were unprocessed, or?
No, not necessarily. Not in this case, because from what I can remember, she came from an okay family. There was no trauma spoken of. It was just that she, the first time she was, she got engaged to someone. She was about 18. He found out that they weren't really compatible, so they went their separate ways.
Right.
The second time, it finished for whatever reason, but there was no trauma there. The third time was, he just sounded like a bit of a naughty boy, basically. He would disappear for 3 days. I'm just going out for a drink with the lads, and he'd disappear for 3 days and phone from Tenerife.
Wow. Okay.
And that was his pattern. So on those threse things, I'm no good at relationships.
She created this belief. Yeah.
And these beliefs. What is a belief? A belief is a generalization, a conclusion, a generalization we've made as a result of what we've gone through.
Yeah. And also it's a thought that you think over and over and over again until until you make that thought concrete, right? And then it becomes a belief.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We forget to question them.
Yeah.
Give you a very quick example, right? Years ago, right, I used to hate Christmas.
Okay.
I was like Scrooge. Hate Christmas. Can't stand Christmas.
Sounds like me now.
And everyone used to say, "Oh, you hate Christmas, don't you?" Yeah, I hate Christmas.
Scrooge.
And then I found myself saying it. What was it? It was got to be about 6-7 years ago now. I remember saying, because it was, November, and the
Yeah.
secret Christmas, oh, I hate Christmas. And I thought, hang on. And I actually did it. I processed it. You know what? That's not quite true now. I actually like Christmas now. It's all right, But here's the interesting thing, right? Even now, my wife still goes, "You hate Christmas, don't you?"
Oh, no way.
No, I don't. I'm fine with Christmas. I quite like it now. Look, here's a hat.
Oh, interesting.
And again, that was just based on a period of time, maybe about 3 or 4 years, that shit happened at Christmas.
Okay.
And I made that, I made that distinction. I don't like Christmas.
Yeah, right.
But when I started thinking, self-coaching, okay, well, I didn't even, but if it was to do it consciously, let's say I was to be my own client, if you like.
Yeah.
I would ask, okay, so what are the differences now? If you want to break down a belief, a belief that no longer serves you.
Yes, give us some tips or some.
Look, if you can do it on paper if you want to. Okay, so what are the differences now? Right. So let's say 10 years ago, let's say I'm actually thinking of maybe something that happened when you were 18 or 19, and this happened at part of the CPTSD, part of the childhood trauma. Your mum said something to you.
Yeah.
What are the differences? And you're still carrying the trauma in and now. Look for the differences. Look for the counterexamples. Look for what's different all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for instance, I'm 10 years older, and I don't live with my mum anymore, and I'm an adult. I'm not. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Even the minor differences. Minor differences.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and even
over time. Sorry, go on.
No, and it just brings me back to what I said before. Again, to me, you're bringing me back to reality, like to the now.
Now. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a different person than what I was 15 years ago, or 8 years ago when I hated Christmas. What's the difference now? Yeah, there's a lot of differences. I'm older. Kids are older. I enjoy I'm enjoying what I do. There's lots of differences.
So it sounds also like it's for me, you're always reflecting on these beliefs or these. Well, that's what it sounds like.
What I am, or
when you can, that's the way to do it. And you are.
Oh yeah.
Like when you catch yourself in, I hate Christmas. Actually, do I? Well, where is this coming from? And then so you start reflecting and asking yourself certain questions. Yeah.
Well, the $6 million question is it true? Is this true now? How do I know? How do I know? And is this true? Great questions. Right?
Yeah. There's actually a book. There's a lady that came up with the technique, but I can't for the life of me remember her name. But there's 4 questions. Is it true? Do you absolutely know for certain that it's true?
Byron Katie.
Oh, is that it? Okay, I've completely forgotten. I read it a long, long time ago, but so there's 4 questions that you ask.
And it shows up in many different forms in most of the personal developments. So, when you think about it, it's sort of how the brain does 3 things.
Yeah.
Well, the leaving stuff out. We want the jargon. It's called deletion in NLP. We call it delete. We delete information that we don't think is important. Like for instance, that woman who said she was bad at relationships.
Yeah.
What she was deleting was the relationships that she was good at.
Yeah.
So the question to ask then is, okay, is this true? How do I know? What's the sensory based evidence I've got?
Yeah.
To that stand, to support this belief, right? And again, challenge limiting belief like that. Don't challenge useful ones.
Yes, of course.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. My next question is, because you talked about language, and obviously language is a way that like you can cast spells on yourself, and you can keep yourself limited. This is where I'm going into the woo-woo. But what you say,
but you're absolutely right, by the way.
you cast a spell on yourself by buying into these negative beliefs. And the more that you say, like she was saying, I'm not good at relationship, I'm not good at, this is what you're going to attract and live.
Well, I'm not going to say attract, because I don't want to say, we don't want a law of attraction. And all that kind
so
of
in
stuff,
your
right?
own words.
What happens is, when we have a particular belief, right? So let's say, I don't know, give us one.
I was just
the
thinking
world's
about
shit.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. That's a good one. Go on.
Yeah, the world's a crap of crap. Right? And what happens is, because it's a belief, what we tend to notice, that only notice things that support that belief, and we leave out the stuff
you
that
delete,
doesn't support.
Distort.
Absolutely, yeah. It's as simple as that, or can be as simple as that. So, bring me to a nice little exercise. That's great if you can remember to do it. Yeah, to get your brain used to looking for differences when it needs to. When you go for a walk, or when you go, whatever you want to do today, right? Maybe there's something you do all the time. You don't even think about it. You just go, right?
Yeah.
Start noticing different things. Look for different things.
Okay.
I've done it myself when I've been walking the dog. Walk down the road that I walked down for many years. Try and notice different things that you don't usually notice, like the flower that's peeping over the top of the wall that you never noticed before, and notice the different. Yeah, get your brain used to looking for differences.
Yeah, and one of the things also, like going back to language, is I'm doing my best to be more conscious. Obviously, it doesn't always happen. It's challenging, but instead of saying it's difficult, I try to say it's not easy. To use different words, basically. Yeah, but it's like I was just going to say, it's challenging. It's not easy.
Well, again,
not easy to do it all the time.
I'm not a language fascist.
But only because I find, like, when we work together, you manage to catch my language, and I don't know how you did it, but you were really aware of the words that I spoke, and shifted my perception with just catching onto that language, and then changing my whole perception on certain things that really lifted. Maybe I'll share an example.
Yeah, because you're going to say, you have to show me how we did it.
so for example, this was a big one for me, because I kept saying to you about debt and paying off my debt and debt. And then you said, what is this debt? And part of it was obviously my business license. And then you said, Melanie, that's not a debt. That's an expense. It's one of your business expense. And just carrying that as, okay, this is my business expense. It just felt totally different. I don't know. It sounds simple. Yeah, it sounds simple, but it had such a big impact on me. And you just kept throughout our sessions, like, catching onto these phrases and then twisting it, to make me see things differently. Obviously, so that I can hold it in a more empowering way rather than a disempowering.
Yeah, it's a useful exercise to run. How can I reframe this? How can I rephrase this? How can I represent this to myself in a much more empowering way?
Yeah.
So
that's why.
Also, I can't remember whether, I don't think it was you. In fact, I know it wasn't you. It was someone else. Overwhelmed, right? Overwhelmed with all these things.
Everyone's classic.
They're all standard. Right? The one that would be on the greatest hits of everyone.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed. I've got this. And if we get overwhelmed, what do? We sometimes we can just shut down.
Yeah.
We procrastinate.
Yes.
Because you don't know what we're going to do, right? And it's sometimes the way we represent it in our heads, like all these things I've got to do. And yet, if you can do something, and I've done this myself actually, if you do something as simple as put it in a timeline. So I've got these bills here, I've got this website to do here, I've got this, right? Okay, so pull them down. By the way, in NLP, these are called sub-modalities.
Yeah.
The finer distinctions of what you imagine and what you say to yourself. the tone you use in your head when you're talking
Yeah.
to yourself, for instance, right? You know, there's, okay, so out of all these overwhelming things that are overwhelm you, what needs to happen first, right? Pull that down. Then what's in the second? And instead of having them all over there, right? You know,
You have
stack them up.
nice. I like that.
What needs to happen first? Now, my
one.
personal way of working with this is, okay, so let's say I've got something here in front of me, right? I take that as far as I can go. If I can't take it any further, push it aside. Okay, that one. Okay, as far as that can go. Okay, push that aside. Does that make sense? So I'm taking different things as far as they can go.
Totally. I love the fact that you're just so practical and grounded and you know, not woo-woo.
You say that to Mrs. Terry and she'll go, what?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's another story then.
You can't wire a plug.
Oh, really?
I'm a qualified spark as well, believe it or not.
You're a qualified
yes.
engineer.
Electrician,
yes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I can wire a plug, but I just choose not to.
That's funny. Okay, so thank you so much. Wanted to, for sharing everything, you know, that we talked about today. And I would like to, unless you have anything else to share, I wanted to ask, what is your heart message to the world?
You know what it is,
I know what it is.
Crack on.
Just crack on, yeah.
Do we need to explain that, do you think?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
For the people that don't understand.
Okay, like, crack on is I wouldn't say it was a UK term.
I think it is.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
I think it is.
For just get on with it. Yeah. To be a little bit more sort of, you know, soft.
Elaborate.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't mean I'll get over it, crack on. What I'm talking is, whatever you do, just take action. Just do something, right? Even if you, even the most darkest time you have, is, if you say it's always even just that little glimmer of light. It's always a little glimmer of light. Yeah, you know, just do something, right? Even if it's, you know, you can't get out of bed, just get out of bed for 10 seconds. Just do something, right? That's a terrible way of explaining it as well. What I'm trying to say
take action is what I'm getting from it, no matter what it is.
And even if, let's say, for instance, even you're thinking, oh, well, it's this big goal I've got, right? The example I used yesterday, funny enough, you know, is everyone familiar with Lego, do you think?
Yes.
Right. And the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium?
Star Wars. The Millennium Falcon.
I'm not, but...
Okay. There's a Lego version of the Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
And there's something like 7,500 pieces. Right.
Okay,
it's massive.
wow.
You know, I think there might be even more. Could be like something like 10. Now, you look at, I've got to build that. Right. They haven't. One brick at a time. The littlest brick. Right. So wherever you are, whatever, you know what you're going for, know what you're playing for, right? What your desired situation needs to be, or you want it to be, and just take one little step each time.
Nice.
One thing differently, one step, right? But crack on.
Thank you so much, Terry. I love that. I'm going to put all your links and details to your website and everything below. And I hope that everyone enjoyed, watching this. You were going to share something?
Would it be, can I do some shameless marketing?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just, because I'm restructured in the NLP work in a different way, right? And I do love coaching via Zoom. I just like it. Just
coaching via Zoom. Okay. Sorry, you just lost the voice. Your voice went a bit low there.
Did it?
Oh, there. That's
got
better.
it now, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I love coaching via Zoom. I love coaching anyway, but I just enjoy Zoom, right? And I'm just about to send an email out to most of my clients, right? Is it a special offer? Right?
Okay, awesome.
Rather than £100 per 1 hour session, it's £50 per 1 hour session for three sessions. So it's £150 in which English Pines or 3 sessions, right?
I hope I get this email too.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, of course. Now, what I'm looking to do with those 3 sessions is something that what tends to happen is a lot of people waste time going over the stories and their narrative.
Right. Yeah.
Right. What I want to make sure with these 3 sessions are, right, okay, where are we? Where are we now? Right? Where do you want to be? What do we need to do on a regular basis to get there? And so those 3 sessions will have homework in between each one, you know.
Awesome.
And so it's focused, solution focused.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm going to put all your links. Thank you for sharing all of that. Maybe we can do this again, talk about a different topic another time.
Yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and bye for now. Bye, Terry.
Bye.